solid, we thought at the time, a solid coalition of 10 members of parliament supporting the government. And if one would look at how the government was functioning, we must admit that things were going in the right direction. But unfortunately, because of, and I will say this plainly, again, because of power and because of greed, the DP leader, Sarah Scotland, decided to form an allegiance, an alliance with the UP party and, of course, independent, yet to be Chanel Brownville. Now, as you can see, not only once, not only twice, but 3 times right now, they have failed to meet the deadline in order to form a new government. What does it tell you? It tells you again, people of St. Martin, that the government that you had in place or have in place now as the interim government is the way place is supposed to be. I find it's unfortunate that the minister or the supposed to be prime minister or the former third of the government, Mr. Franklin Myers, should have retraced his steps before putting his name out there. His leader, Mr. Theo Heiliger, knowing that he would never pass the screening, decided to stay out of the whole thing. But then Mr. Franklin Myers, now what has turned out to be now an embarrassment to his party and to the coalition of 8, which is right now, I would say, weak party, what has taken place. Because fact of the matter is right now, because of this now, days have been changed, and it definitely appears as if the government who they sent home, who basically they can't say exactly why they sent him home, will have to run this country for the next month or 2. And as I said before, are doing a good job. People of St. Martin, many of you said right now you're not going to go and vote. I'm saying this to you. This is proof, because whenever the National Alliance puts a candidate to be a minister, they always pass the screening. So it tells you where you got to vote. If you want a solid, stable government, no more coalition. It is time now to give the government of the people of St. Martin, the National Alliance, all the necessary seats in order to manage this country in your best interest. Well, let me say this. During his let me use this term, farewell speech, the leader made it plain. He said, time will tell. And indeed, time is telling who the true representatives of this country are. And as we can see right now, all the things he said in the past are come to pass. They were saying, yes, he's a weak leader, he's hurting the country, but he was taking decisions on behalf of the people of St. Martin. And right now we are seeing what is transpiring. I am saying to the people of St. Martin, William Marlin was right in the beginning, and he's still right today. And he was not put out. William Marlin on his own decided to submit his resignation because the governor had no such authority. But William, seeing and having the interest of people of St. Martin at his heart, decided, instead of St. Martin going through this kind of embarrassment publicly, which again was imposed by the Dutch because of their own personal agenda, decided to step aside for a while. But I'm reminding you, he's coming back. So people of St. Martin, don't you worry. The right government will be in place once you vote the right place. People of St. Martin, as you know, we are in the Christmas season. And many of us would say we're having a joyous time. But on the other hand, there are still those who are not. Because of what? The passing of Hurricane Irma and Maria. Some people today have lost their homes. Some people today have lost their jobs. And the hardest of all, some people have lost their relatives and their friends. So at this time, I'm asking those of us who fared much better than others during the passing of Hurricanes Irma and Maria to, as much as possible, support those persons who are going through a very difficult time in whatever way we can, be it support mentally, be it financially, whatever we can to make life for them as bearable as possible. I look at the different organizations that have volunteered and so on, like the Red Cross, the White and Yellow Cross, all of those persons who have done their best in order to make things easier for the people of St. Martin to go through this hard time. And I'm saying right now, what we do today for them will last forever. So I'm saying to you today, as much as you can, help people who are going through very difficult times. And I'm saying to the volunteer group like the Red Cross and the White and Yellow Cross, and even the government departments that have put, or the ministers have put a criteria in place in order for persons to get food vouchers. Please, relax the criteria. Relax the criteria. People need help, people need food, people need assistance. And I think that this is not the time to make the criteria so difficult. Yes, there are those who will abuse the system. Nothing you can do about that because it depends on the person's character, who she or he is. But it should not be that persons who are in dire need suffer because of this. And in closing, I want to say on behalf of my wife and my children, my grandchildren, I wish every one of you a happy new year, and a very, very Merry Christmas. Let me say this in closing also. Remember to put God first in everything you do, because we said in John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave. And I think it's a time for us as a people to give. So put your trust in God, because in him we live, in him we move, in him we have our being, and without him we can do nothing. God bless you. God bless St. Martin. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy, Happy New Year.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVs.
As president also of the Windward Island Chamber of Labor Unions, after our Solidarity March, which was held on December the 15th, Kingdom Day, in Phillipsburg, St. Martin, we decided as an evaluation, all unions came together a couple of days after to evaluate and to plot the way forward. So we decided that we need to meet urgently with the Minister of Labor to continue our plight as social partners, and not only social partners, also as trade unions on behalf of the workers. The Solidarity March, which was dubbed St. Martin Workers Strong, We Carry St. Martin, that's a very important message that has to continue throughout the coming years with respect to the rebuilding of St. Martin. As unions, we acknowledge that our members, the unionized workers, and even the non-unionized workers, that they are now struggling. They are faced with a lot of challenges post Hurricane Irma and Maria. And these challenges can have direct effects and will have direct effects on their social, emotional, mental, and financial well-being. And therefore, it is very important that we as unions continue to plot forward to organize programs that would enhance the quality of life of our workers. And the meeting with the minister was requested urgently for today, Friday the 22nd, 8:30 to 10:30. And we got as a response that he's off island until January 2018. So therefore, we would love to encourage our workers to continue on the positive side. We know as unions of the challenges that they're faced with, and we in the Chamber of Unions will continue to diligently strive to make that impact and to come up with a list of priorities, programs that can enhance the life of our members. And while saying that, I would also like to, on behalf of the Windward Island Chamber of Labor Union, to wish all the workers of St. Martin, the strong workers of St. Martin that helped to rebuild St. Martin, to wish them a Merry Christmas, a blessed gathering with the family. Do not leave the struggles of life get you depressed, but try to form groups and families. Turn to God in faith and trust that the union movement, the trade union movement, will continue their works to be able to help in the situation with our workers and to make St. Martin workers continue to be strong. So in saying that, I would like to say to all the board, the members for their hard work, and all the workers, have a Merry Christmas.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 Fun Mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of Fun Miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free Fun Miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles, from within your reach.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Provide us some information as to what this MOU entails.
Thank you, Stephen. The Memorandum of Understanding, basically, USM and St. Martin's government had an agreement 2014, which ended in 2015, as none of the parties had actually sat back down to the table to renew it. So as such, after that to 16, 17, they've just been operating, receiving their funds, but no necessarily, no collaboration in terms of what we need to do, what still needs to happen, etc. We know that USM has been making it quite public that our higher education ordinance is not ready, and that is one of the reasons that they are not able to be self-sufficient. However, prior to hurricane, and in constant collaboration with the Department of Education, they have been discussing how to become more sustainable. They've been having their donors helping them out. As a result of the hurricane, they made a statement October 2nd and in a letter to me that they were unable to continue and needed funds immediately. Certain things were required to be able to do so as government, which we were not able to get. However, seeing the time and they made it through October, we were then in November, we really stepped up trying to get an agreement in place so that if government gives more funds, that there is also more accountability. Not that government at any point did not want to assist USM. It is simply a matter of balancing the want and the need with the accountability. And so this MOU gives us that. It takes into consideration the reality of the situation, the lack of the ordinance being ready, that students on St. Martin and even some from in the region make use of USM to get at least minimally their associates before they continue on, that even some of our students who are here in the secondary school, for instance, who do not have their Dutch rights as yet and are unable to qualify for study financing to go abroad, start at USM. Some students even do other programs at USM that are not their associates or bachelor's program. And government has always been a strong supporter of the teacher education program, and that's basically mainly half of the funds that they receive already was to secure that program. So when we got those notices and had the first discussions, we also asked them what they would need, quickly to survive. And they said they put forward an emergency budget, a rescue budget of 250,000 guilders per month for 3 months to save the semester. However, the collaborating or the corroborating documents were never submitted in time, and we were not able to do that in time to save the semester. That did not stop us, however. We continued to dialogue, and finally, we thought last 11th of December that we had an agreement. Parties had sat and discussed, and unfortunately, USM said they still were not able to sign on for the assistance as it had been proposed, which was quite alarming. We then proceeded to publicly state what had been offered, etc., and then USM was able to come to the table the following day and meet with the departments and the SG, and as such, even as government, we saw that initially we had offered the fourth payment to be able to bridge the gap, seeing that the deadlines that we had set in terms of bringing in documents and us giving a structural subsidy would have taken 3 to 4 months. So with that, USM accepted that as well. We put that back in there. Of course, it had to go back to the Council of Ministers because initially we'd only approved 3 payments, and last week we were able to get an agreement for that 4th payment as well. And the SOAB will carry out the audit, as we had said before, for the 2013-2016 years. Addition to that, the SOAB will, on request and on the account of government of St. Martin, also look at the restructuring of the financial management and management of the board and make recommendations as such, which USM has agreed to carry out based on their recommendations if necessary. We as government, once we receive the finalized request, because just sending in a letter saying you need extra funds is not enough, you have to send in all the documentation that goes with that. So USM has until January 30th to get that information into us on or before, and then government will need 2 months. So then our deadline is March 31st to get them the response to their request for the structural subsidy, which will then, of course, be then for the rest of 2018 and assist them in keeping sustainable for all of the students of USM. Government has also pledged to prioritize finalizing the higher education ordinance, and USM will get a draft by March 31st as well, and hopefully we will get it to the Raad van Advies, and I'm hearing also the SER. The SER isn't in agreement, but based on the last trip that I took to Parliament, I was informed that the SER, and we did receive some correspondence that the SER needs to be heard in this as well, so they will be sent the same time as the Raad van Advies to avoid any further delays. USM agrees to start this academic school year. That was also a bit of a contention because they didn't think they could recoup the fall semester, but after much deliberation, they will start in January to be able to recoup the entire academic year and run on into the summer to be able to do so. The UVI at USM program continues as it had been doing so. That was the only program that was running after October. And we will be able to get updates on a monthly basis as to how the monies are being spent as well. So quite some agreements on both sides that sees USM being able to continue and government having a clear view of how its funds are being spent, specifically for this purpose, to be able to operate the university and not necessarily old debts that may have been there prior to the start of this school year, the 2017-18 academic year. The USM Foundation will also cooperate with the financial controller of the ministry to be able to coordinate any type of financial planning and review of any outstanding payments. And yeah, I think that basically sums up the agreements as it pertains to the MOU. Yeah, that's about it.